Salam ala Sayyidil Anbiya wal Mursaleen. This is Mujeeb Kazi, and you're watching Washington Roundtable on VOKTV. I'm joined by a very special guest with us here in Chicago ISNA Convention, Brother Abdullah, who is going to talk to us about two things. One, he is a leader of such a large organization representing literally over 70 organizations in Chicago, Illinois area, and at the same time that he has a movement that he is leading at this time to write a letter to the officials to get what? That's what we're going to ask him. So, Brother Abdullah, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank
And
you.
first of all, give us a little bit of a background, who you are, what do you do, and what is your background?
Well, I'm by profession, I'm an attorney, but currently, for the last 7 years, I've served as the executive director of the Council of Islamic Organizations of Greater Chicago. We're a federation of Muslim organizations, primarily mosques, Islamic schools, some social service agencies. And our mission is to be the voice for the community, to be an advocate for policies that advance the interests of the Muslim community as a whole, and to be the role model of how to be a good neighbor to the community at large. Now, one of the things that has grabbed us, as it has most Muslims across this nation, is what can we do to help brothers and sisters in Gaza? Yeah, I mean, we've yelled, written letters, we've staged rallies, billboards, all calling out the genocide that we're witnessing in Gaza. Currently, what we're seeing now is we've been pushing. It's like dropping water on a rock, but we're seeing progress. Now we have seen faith leaders that are willing to come out and say enough is enough. We're starting to see other civic leaders that are challenging them. We're even seeing leaders in the Jewish community that are saying it is too much. So what we're doing now is we've put together a petition that mimics its demands, mimics what 100 global organizations are calling for: the permanent ending of this conflict, the immediate resumption of humanitarian aid into Gaza to help the people, and as opposed to just a general call out, what we're asking is faith leaders. The letter is couched in terms of the principles that are common to all faith traditions, to say the sanctity of life must be respected. And we, as faith leaders, demand the stop of the starvation of children and the killing of human beings, civilians.
So we have seen in our first time in our lifetime where starvation is being used as a weapon to eliminate 2.5 million people on the face of earth. America being the champion of human rights, so to speak. What went wrong? Where did we go wrong that we, under our own eyes, allowed this massacre, this genocide to take place? You've been here for so long, you have seen the civil rights movement, you have seen the civil activism. Where and how did we go wrong here?
2 points. First, too many of us have become contented with a lifestyle that for many that have come to this country, it gave them what they want. I wanted to have a good living. I want to have a good environment to raise my kids and let them excel in their life. And we've seen generation upon generation of students and families that have realized that. But for too long, the Muslim community remained isolated. It did not engage with the society as a whole. That notion, and I mean, I've witnessed it in we don't want to get involved. I'm in my own neighborhood where I'm in my silo. I feel safe. Well, what we're witnessing now is then when we look at our other Muslim brothers and sisters, like particularly in Gaza, they're being victimized, and we say, well, can we do? Well, we haven't done anything to really engage our policymakers, whether it's on the state, federal, or local level. We've just enjoyed our lifestyle. We've said, I'm going to live and let live. Well, that can no longer happen. So that's the first, enjoying the lifestyle, and then realizing we've neglected our duties, regardless of our faith. We still have obligations as citizens of this country, civic responsibilities to take up and make sure policies that are promulgated by our policymakers in the state or the federal really reflect the values that we deem are common to all mankind and are important to us.
So the two things that we, number one, we try to live in our comfort zone. We don't want to step out of that. That's one thing. And secondly, we have somewhat failed to engage in the civic and the religious engagement. We saw some glimpses as of today. We have a fairly good amount of people showed up at this NA convention, and they have a fairly good amount of people showing up almost every year. So 50, 60, 100 people. So what my question is that, do you think people should, other organizations should start replicating this kind of a model where we start engaging with the civic and the religious leaders, other side of your own faith?
It is critical. It is critical. We cannot remain silent, and it's not. Muslims must embrace the concept, not that it's got to be Muslim. We have common values as human beings. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these values didn't just start with Islam. Allah gave those injunctions from Adam.
Mm-hmm.
So now, how are we best reflecting that? So when we advocate, it's not just I'm going to advocate for Muslims and I'm not going to do anything else. How do we advocate for the betterment of all mankind? That is the model that we are supposed to be emulating to the society, that makes them realize that what we have is the truth.
Do you have a message for our youth that is watching you across the United States regarding the civic engagement, getting themselves into the public service affair? We have had lots of doctors, we have produced a lot of entrepreneurs, businessmen, engineers, but one thing that we are now, I can see people stepping into, is the public service arena. In the beginning, it might be a pro bono service to the city, giving back to the city, your citizenry. What is your message to them?
No, that's where it must begin.
Okay.
Some people want to immediately run for office, but no one knows you. What have you done to show that you should be my leader?
Exactly.
How are we engaging locally with those in need? We're in Chicago, and I'm sure in other places there's efforts to distribute food, to distribute clothing. I mean, coats during the cold season. We have so many doctors. Why don't doctors say we're going to sponsor a back to school school exams, the physical exams? And how do we engage? The people have a need, and people will respect those that respect their needs. So it's not going to be, I'm going to run for city council and I'm going to make you. Who's going to know who you are until you demonstrate through your deeds and actions who you are and what you represent? I think we have an excellent example in the city of New York, a person who has demonstrated, I have a concern, I reach out, I meet with the people. That's the model to emulate.
Excellent. I think the in a nutshell, the conversation what we are having with Brother Abdullah is, in order for you to make an impactful change at the local level, start from the local boards at the city level, whether it be planning and zoning, education, whether it be parks and recreation, or be a volunteer to go out and serve your neighbors. And that's how you start to recognize, get yourself recognition at the city level and build alliances with